Let's get started.
Hello and welcome back to Fusionlore, Fusionlore Fall podcast, where we go over the lore of every mission in the game. I'm Magic, also known as the Magical Dealer, and this is my good friend Matt, also known as Ars. Say hello, Matt.
Hello.
And today we're gonna be going over the level 4 missions once you get to the pass. We already did the level 4 missions in the future. We're catching up on level 4 before we start doing any of the other stuff we can do in the pass. Matt, any first impressions coming to the pass right out of the future?
Well, obviously for starters, you're kind of throwing into Sector V, and you're in the main square, and you notice right behind you the fact that there's a monument there with the only known missing person in the past, and it happens to be Buttercup.
Right.
Buttercup is stationed on the left. Is it the left side? When you're looking at the monument, it's on the left side. But if you're leaving the monument towards the treehouse, it's on the right side. Anyway, we made a good point earlier. We talked a little bit about this earlier. That why is it that she's there in the first place? Why is it like queued up? You know, there's 4 slots on that monument for missing people, and they just so happen to have her there. That's a little confusing to me, but anyway, that's just something I off rip kind of thought about when I got into the past.
I think the real question is why are there open slots on that monument in the first place, right? So she's missing, not dead, right? Because we came from the future where Buttercup is, so we know she's alive for sure. She's just missing right now, and eventually they find her. But did that make that monument specifically for her? And if they did, why are there those open slots? But if they did not make it specifically for her, and they're like, we should probably make a monument now that we're in a war. Is that not kind of like very heavy to put on everybody? Like, hey guys, I know people are going to die, so I built this monument so whenever they do die, we can remember them. What?
That and the very still cryptic message that is still on top of the center of the square.
Yeah, we have no idea what that says. No clue whatsoever. I
wonder if that's a translation error, because if I remember correctly from early days, at least in Retro's early development with the original team, may they rest in peace. They're not dead. They just,
are tired.
A lot of things happen.
They're tired.
They retired forcefully. Anyway, I wonder if that's just a translation error, because we did find out sometime into the development that there were originally Korean people working on this. On the code of the game, right? Mm-hmm. So I wonder if they wrote certain things in Korean and it got mistranslated.
What if it was just never meant to mean anything at all? What if it was just put something up there just because? What if it's an L is a real situation?
But do you think that they thought people were illiterate? Like, I'm sorry.
No.
It says the hero is 5 name hero, great wild talks.
Look.
Tell me that doesn't sound like a translation error.
I think they didn't think people were going to look at it too closely.
All right, well, fair enough, but I don't want to lose track of the purpose. So any first takes for you when you came into the past?
My very first thought, and I don't know why I did not bring it up when we were in the future, maybe it was because we were so deep in the war, is how like battle ready these houses are. Like, did the kids next door take over this neighborhood? Was all these defenses they have on these houses, because these houses have like shielding, satellite dishes, blast doors. They are ready to face some shit. Were these already here, or did the kids next door be like, hey, excuse me, ma'am, knock, 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 we're gonna upgrade the defenses of your house and hope you don't mind, but we're trying to keep you alive. Cool.
Yeah, you know what? Now I'm thinking about that. I'm standing here at one of the houses, still in the game, just perusing about, but you're absolutely right. This is steel plating on the windows, steel plating on the doors. The doors look like they have like scanners to only allow people in.
The people who live there, presumably.
But also, on that note, there are cars that are still driving around in this neighborhood, and for starters, that's a normal thing in Fusionlore Fall. But why haven't we ever questioned as to why.
Are people still going to work? I gotta get up. I gotta go to work. Honey, I'll see you later. I know it's the end of the world, but my boss said he's not gonna pay me.
And presumably, we don't know if there's any adults left in the past, or in general. This is way after the Earth has sustained some serious takeover. Like, we're thrown into the middle of a war, but like, let's be real here. If we look at the map in game, it's not looking so hot. Let's be real here.
It's looking a lot better than where we started in the future. It's way better. I mean, like, there were craters in the ground. We had to cross bridges to get to places. It's doing a whole lot better. I was talking to somebody else earlier today about like adults in Fusion Fall, and they brought up the idea that we don't see any adults, especially fighting in the war, because nanos are such a pivotal part of defeating Fuse, and specifically the creation or imaginary energy part of it. And adults canonically, Cartoon Network wise, do not create imaginary friends. It's only kids and teenagers. So what would the adults really be doing? Just getting their asses handed to them, really. So I mean, they're in the houses, I guess.
Aside from Father,
and
any other like canonic adult that has some sort of power.
Father literally has the power of fire. My dad does not have the power of fire. He is not helping me fight these fucking fusion monsters outside. I don't know if he can even see me fighting them. Can adults see the nanos, since they're also... Can adults see imaginary friends? I think so. Yeah. Mac's mom can see Blue. So I think so.
Maybe it's like an extension of like the imagination is so powerful it materializes in the real world.
Well, yeah, that is what it is, though.
So they would be able to see them. That's what I'm saying.
They just wouldn't be able to create them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That makes sense. I'm clicking. The second thing I had started thinking about was the treehouse being in the air. We're not specifically told why the treehouse is in the air. We are told that Dexter and Mandark sent technology over here to raise the treehouse, but we're not told why. Something. So Fuses doesn't get a hold of it, but they have it tied down with these giant chains and also jump pads on every end of it, so it is accessible to us. If we can get up there, should the fusions also be able to get up there?
See, my whole thing is, okay, with that, I'm glad that we both looked at some of the NPCs around here, and you grabbed some notes prior on, especially from number 875. It says the plan is to raise the treehouse to prevent fusion invaders. So on that note, like, okay, that's why it's floating, to prevent the invasion. But my whole thing is if Fuse, his whole ordeal is that he can infect things. What's stopping him from infecting these chains?
Bro, what's stopping him from infecting the treehouse? Could you imagine the treehouse itself becomes a fusion monster? They would be so cooked. Oh my God. I want fan art of that. That would be so cool. It turns into like a Gundam or like a Mechazord. I can picture it.
It's a giant talking tree.
That would be so cool.
And the various little like ships and planes on there are extensions of its like arms and shit.
Yes. I'm hyping myself up with something that'll never become reality. But that is so cool to think of. Fuse, what are you doing? You're dropping the ball. You have the coolest thing you could do right there. All because it's in the air. You're in the sky, man. He's in the sky.
You're a planet, man. Just drop a little goop down, you know?
Just touch the tree. Give us the Mechazord treehouse. The Megazord treehouse. Yo, Fuse is letting me down. I'm not gonna lie. I might be on Fuse's side actually, just to see that cool thing. Oh wait.
Enemy of humanity.
Speaking of enemies, right? We need to talk about the number one enemy out of all the level 5 missions we did today. Right? So the missions that we ended up doing today.
Level 4 missions.
Level 4 missions, my bad. I misspoke. The level 4 missions we did. We did Bossum's Picnic Panic, which I have a lot to say about. Just wait till I get there. We did Helping number 2, 1 through 3. We Master of Disaster, and the Nano Project. But throughout all these missions, there was one enemy that we had to kill several times. And every time I play Fusion Fall, I always make a note of it that, like, man, the Caterplugs are just messing up everything for everybody in this game. They always want you to kill the Caterplugs. There are spawns all over Sector V, but the Caterplugs are the main enemy. And I mean,
they're straight menaces. Like, they did the most. No other enemy has caused more trouble for the K&D than the Caterplugs.
You're right. You're right. No other enemy caused us more trouble than the Caterplugs. Why are they so freakishly strong? We died the most to this enemy. Their hitboxes are weird too, because my guns would just go right through them.
The rockets would go right through them. They first of all, they attack so fast for no reason. You can get into an encounter with 2 Caterplugs and you can lose on the same level.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Mind you, you can fight higher level monsters and win in 1v1s, but the same level, as soon as you reach a threshold of 2 monsters, you're probably cooked.
I don't get it.
Let's be real here.
I understand why we have to go kill them, and they're doing some bad stuff too. What was it? Helping number 2. I don't remember which number out of the 3. They stole a chip out of the satellite dish, right? Was it them that messed with the scamper, or was that somebody else?
I think it was in helping number 2 part 2. They took the scampers, the perfect emergency recombobb. Wait, what does that word even say? Did you read this again?
Part 2?
No. Wait. What? It was part 2, but what did they steal? It doesn't. Oh, we might have dropped the ball on that. They stole something that makes the scamper work.
The part that makes it safe.
Yes.
Number 2 is like specifically like they took the thing that makes it safe. We go and kill them. We get the part back, and then number 2 is like, you can put that back in there, right? You know how to work on the scamper? Put that back in the scamper, or it won't work correctly. And he just trusts us to do it. And I don't know about you, man. I'm no engineer. I don't know if I put that thing back in there correctly. I don't know if the scamper is safe again.
No. Hold on.
I'm holding.
I think helping number 2, part 2 of 2. We were stopping them, the ultra mango beetles.
Oh, we're not,
because they were getting
that's right.
Right. They were getting ready to attack the scamper, and we had to help defend against it. And actually, we were wrong again. The scampers in part 3 and helping number 2, they stole the scamper's flanged delimiter. Someone could get hurt apparently if we don't have that. Whatever a flange delimiter is. Anyway, we had to get it back from the ultra mango beetle. So in both of those missions, it was actually the ultra mango beetle that was stopping us from traveling on the scamper safely.
And then we put it back, supposedly, in the right spot to fix it. And I don't know about you. I don't know if my conscience will be clean. I just feel like if something blows up on the scamper now, it's my fault since they made me fix it. Number 2's the genius. He's the genius. He didn't even talk me through it. He just said, put it back in there. You could do it, right?
Okay. Not only that, but number 2 is just an absolute team player.
Oh, no, for sure. The entire time we were here, number 2 is like doing the most heavy lifting of any NPC we've talked to so far. He is carrying Sector V. He's out here making sure the satellite dish works, making sure the scamper is working properly, holding down the treehouse, and then there's Blossom.
Wait. He's also contributing to empowering our nanos to making them more powerful.
Oh no, that's
don't forget about that.
That's that Ranger. No. What's that Ranger's name? Right.
It was Ranger Melissa.
Melissa.
But he's contributing to it by providing one of his helmets, a personal item, to the development of the empowering your nanos.
I mean, if you want to give him that credit, you can give him that credit. But I believe that is such a minuscule like drop in the bucket of everything else he was doing. All he did was give us his helmet and was like, "Yeah, sure, kid, you have my helmet. I don't care." Which I don't fully understand what the enhancement of the nanos means by getting his helmet. Like when we created number 2, I'm pretty sure we created our nano with his helmet. But
number 2 is the Candy's technology officer. He invented the Candy treehouse and builds most of their tech.
He built the entire treehouse.
Yeah.
If he built the entire treehouse, do you think he's like solely responsible for upgrading all the houses in his neighborhood?
Probably.
Or at least
Probably,
like
honestly.
the blueprints for upgrading it. Maybe he didn't do all the manual labor, but he came up with like the ideas for it.
Well, it says in the Nano Project Part 1 of 3. Let's see. Let me read over it. In the second change log, it says number 2 is Candy's technology officer. He invented the awesome Candy treehouse and builds most of their tech. We also, in reference to his helmet, we also need his spare flight helmet for research into improving nanos of him. Number 2's real name is Hoagie Gilligan.
Holy P. Gilligan. I don't know what the P stands for, but I remember it.
And he's also willing to teach us some things. And apparently according to Ranger Melissa, he's very smart. So he's probably solely responsible for the
No, Matt. Is he smart?
Neighborhood.
Is he smart, Matt? Was that at the end of what she had to say about him? He built the treehouse, is a scientist, and he's smart. I didn't get that from the first 2 things you said. I really had to have you spoon feed me that. He's smart. Did you know he's smart? He built all his stuff, but he's also smart.
That's her just, homing the nail in, She has to make her point that, hey, listen, I know you haven't been reading these because you've just been doing missions blindly. But because you like to read the dialogues, just letting you know, number 2 is real smart.
I guess. I just that just seems like hey, in case you didn't understand what I was saying, he's smart, bro. This dude right here, he Jimmy Neutron right here. He might be smarter than Dexter. Man. He's just more humble.
You got to read in between the lines when it comes to these missions, because apparently you got 2 different journal entries for every mission when you accept it and after you accept it,
which we've tried very hard to keep track of.
Very, very hard.
Our Google document looks like a mess.
Level 4, mind you, it's only what 1,
like 6 missions,
3, 4, 5
that 6, are in 7? The pass.
It's 7 total, but it's about 9 pages, and you would think, yeah, that sounds about right, but it's mostly just from cataloging the individual journal entries for every time a mission is updated, and that is absurd in some regard.
These are the links we go through for you guys.
If you like it so far, and I hope you do, drop a like. Maybe leave a comment on what you think we should investigate in the coming levels, level 5, 6, and 7.
Oh no! You know what we should investigate? Out of all the missions that we did, everything was very useful, very helpful, makes sense for what we were doing in this war. Let me rephrase. This war. We're in war. The world is under attack. The entire planet. What is the first thing that Blossom of the Powerpuff Girls wants us to do after getting transported back to the past, after notifying them how awful the world is in the future? Hey guys, I really want to have a picnic, but there's a bunch of bugs by the picnic area. Can we go kill them, please?
Hold on. I know she's a bit bipolar, but listen. Her first mission was to collect sugar, spice, and everything nice.
So you're talking about the Nano mission. You're talking about the Nano mission.
Yes. I mean, like, granted, we did decide to do that first.
We did the Nano mission. Fuse stole sugar, spice, and everything nice. Is he trying to make his own Powerpuff Girls? Where did he get that information that's how you make a Powerpuff Girls? Is this like public information?
That's a very good question. Does Fuse know exactly what items he needs to make fusions, or is he guessing?
I think fusions make themselves. There was an NPC. Hold on, let me scroll down and find it. There was an NPC that spoke about this that said, Fuse can make lots of fusions, so even when you beat one, they seem to come back again. Figures from Numbuh 312. So I guess he is actively making them. Are Terra Fusers extension of Fuse? Are they a part of him, or they act independently? Because the Terra Fusers are what are making the fusions.
I want to say maybe they are a creation of his own that acts independently from him. Because a lot of the time, wherever he places a terrafuser, there seems to be a lot of the same enemy, and that's without any regard to exactly the area that you're necessarily in. But I would like to say that most of the time, when you see enemies in Fusionfall, they're very reminiscent of things that have been amalgamated together, of things that have already existed on Earth. So,
Well, yeah. Do you remember the original like trailer that would play for Fusionfall? It had like, it showed you that like the terrafusers, they like bombed into the earth like a meteor, right? And then they infect whatever is immediately around them to create fusions.
Yes. So I want to say maybe whenever like an original creation is made from a terrafuser, and the reason why you see them planted into the ground and in areas in which those monsters are readily existing, I think whenever one successfully creates something that is successful per se, right? It digs itself into the ground, and then it creates copies of itself and releases them
on like a loop.
On a loop.
And we're just destroying as what we can while it keeps pumping them out.
Right. So in the earnest of not being overrun, we're kind of mitigating them in a way.
Well, if that's the case, I'm even more upset that Blossom wants to have a picnic while this is going on. And even more upset that she was like, those Caterplugs are in the way of the picnic that I want to have. Get rid of those too. She just asked us just to get rid of regular bugs at first, and then the Caterplugs. The Caterplugs were just like weren't even part of it. They were just hazards in the way. She didn't care about the war. She was just like, I just want to have picnics. And then to speak about how good of number 2, how good of a guy he is, while he was doing all that stuff trying to help us, he was like, I'll also make you some hot dogs, I guess, Blossom, so you'll just get out of the way. And then she got upset when we did all this stuff to clear the picnic area. And she was like, yo, my dad didn't even show up for the picnic, bro. Why didn't my dad show up, bro? I don't understand.
Listen, Mr. Utonium, he's got bigger things on his plate, and she doesn't seem to understand that. She's a bit of a daddy's girl, and she just feels like, everything's about her in the given moment. Like you said, she wants to have a picnic, and even some of the dialogue while you're doing the mission for her in Blossom Picnic's Panic, she's asking you to fill up holes in the ground to make it look nice or less like a war zone.
Bro, yes! Right? Yes! She's got us out here doing grunt work in the war! In the middle of a war! It's not pretty enough for my picnic! Make it look pretty.
And then she's like, there's a bit too many Caterplugs. Like, I know there's enemy soldiers over there, but can you just get rid of them? I want to lay out the tarp, Put the basket down, have a couple sodas, maybe have a sandwich or two.
I know we don't die. I know we don't die because of Grimm, right? But I would not put it past Blossom if we did die, if she would be like, can you move those dead bodies out of the way too? Can you go put those somewhere else? They're really ruining the mood in my picnic.
Guys, the dead bodies, they're not a vibe. I'm not really not with it. Do you think we can get rid of them? We're trying to have a picnic over here, and it's giving depressed. It's making me sad.
I know it's like literally the end of the world right now, but picnic, guys. I'm just the girl. Just the girl
vibes.
I'm just the girl, and I want to have a picnic. Why does she want to have a picnic there out of all places when they have that like fountain behind the tree houses with all the picnic tables and whatnot? That's a pretty nice area, Blossom. But no, you want the dirty looking area with the bugs and the Caterplugs, and you want us specifically to go clear it out for you.
Let's be honest here. She could have had a picnic right on top of Sector V.
Yeah, there's no enemies on the treehouse.
Nothing. There's plenty of empty space.
Nah, I want it over there.
Utilized. Specifically in the war zone, mind you.
I'm Blossom quickly falling down the ranks of the tier list of Fusionfall characters. Meanwhile, number 2 is at the top right now. He's honestly, at the S tier.
Number 2 is such a team player. First of all, he's encouraging.
He's humble. He's smart. Did you hear that he was smart? Ranger Melissa
He's
said
so
he's smart.
Oh my god.
Number 2, carrying. He's carrying everybody. Oh my god.
Mind you. Okay, he's very smart.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, maybe that's why it was so easy for us to repair the scamper. But can we talk about why exactly we need to visit an area before, having access to the scamper? Like, granted, yeah, gameplay loop. You need to visit the area before you have access to it. But that doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Hey, I know you're in the middle of the war and you're like the kid who's supposed to save us all. But I cannot let you go to Peach Creek unless you've already been there before. You went there in the future. Well, you didn't go there in the past, so go there again.
I know it's a registered location on the scamper. I know it is. And I know we can't bring you anywhere else but the registered locations. But, you kind of gotta work your way over there. You gotta pull your own weight a little bit, and then maybe we'll help you out for a couple hundred taros.
What if, right? Because the people working in that area, right? So let's just take Sector V to Peach Creek for an example, right? We just, however we teleported to the past from in the time machine, whether we just appeared out of thin air or the time machine went with us, we just appeared, right? And we in the previous episode we talked about how we sent missions, a message back through the time warp hole, which is still here, by the way, in Sector V.
It is.
That the message came through the warp hole in Sector V. Number 2 probably found it because he's so smart. He's amazing. He's so smart. And he knew we were coming, right? So we get here, right? And there's no shock. They're not like, who are you? But say if we took the scamper to Peach Creek, we land there, everybody is immediately hostile. They're like, who is this person? Why is this person here? What if they just shot us on sight? They don't know who we are. They could think we're the enemy. Maybe that's the reason we have to register that. And we have to go there first, familiarize ourselves with everyone in that area to make them feel safe before we just appear,
That would make sense, but let's be real. One of the very first locations you get to is Peach Creek Commons, and that's run by the Slumlord himself. And that place is made out of cardboard. Okay.
Look, that's even more reason though. You don't think Eddie would be like, hey, you gotta pay me before you come to my cul-de-sac. You can't just come up in here.
First of all, Eddie wouldn't shoot first and ask questions later. He'd pull out. He'd ask for your credit card information and then ask you for some questions about who you are, where you came from.
Eddie holding a quarter. What's the 3 digits? What's the 3 digits on the back? What's the 3 digits?
I need the last 4 numbers on a little blue card that you own.
I'm not seeing your credit card in my registry here. I don't know if you can come into my cul-de-sac.
Did you pay the required fees? Required fees of entry?
Oh, you don't look familiar, kid. Go back outside.
There's a monster outside. You don't have any taros on you, do you?
You got some money? Sounds like a you problem.
That's probably why there's so little citizens. Let's be real here. The only real place that's actually like protected inside and out, from what we understand, because every other place is boarded up, and aside from the automatically moving vehicles and some abandoned vehicles around Sector V, there's no real like hard evidence that there's people living in these houses. Like, yeah, they're boarded up.
I mean, no, yeah, I'm just gonna guess that that's where the people not fighting in the war are. We haven't really explored Pokey-Oaks yet. We'll get into that in the next episode. But I would wonder if those houses are also like equally as like shielded up, or if this is purely a Sector V thing.
I mean, yes, but then it comes into question as to why the box forward in the first place. Like if I remember correctly, in the future, there was a huge puddle where a house used to be.
You're right.
I'm just saying, like it's clearly not doing a lot. And
that's funny, man. That makes me think that number 2 did all this for his neighborhood. He looked at Eddie and he's like, I ain't helping him. I hate that guy. He's got his little cardboard fortress, man. He's good. I ain't helping that man.
Oh, Eddie, that guy's a bit of a dick. Let's not help him. Let's not.
I met him and he tried to charge me to speak to him.
He charged by the second.
I don't want anything to do with Eddie.
He's worse than a lawyer.
Yet, all these awful things, and let's not forget that Eddie survived into the future. Eddie survived. His scummy ways kept him alive.
I wouldn't be surprised if he sacrificed a couple of people along the way.
Look,
that's all I'm saying.
I'm willing to sacrifice you for the greater good. That's Eddie. My God. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Is there anything else? Oh, we did a guide mission. We did our first guide mission from Ben, which was sent to number 2, the goat, which number 2, Ben told number 2 to gear us up. I'm guessing in that message we sent back to the past from the future, we told Ben about ourselves and he was like, yo, number 2, gear up my boys, get my boys in working order. They need to fight. I'm guessing anyway. I don't know why else Ben would be like help. But then number 2 was like, I'll give you some gear if you do something for me first. If you
hey, listen. He didn't fall short though. He's not like Eddie, constantly penny pinching and all. He's like, I need a favor, and I'll get you the gear you need, but I need the favor first.
Let's see, what was that mission? It was gear up, looking for some gear. Oh, this one was interesting to me because his thing was he wanted us to go check out the terrafusers and he wanted us to like get the coordinates to all of them. And he was like, all right, I'm going to launch an assault. Is number 2 going to like launch missiles at the terrafuser?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Bro, why are we not doing that to just all the enemies in the area? Number 2 is really holding down Sector V. My image of him is very high right now. I don't know if any other character in this game is going to be able to defeat it. Whereas we're still in the first area of the past, but man, the expectations have been set. The bar is high for every other NPC we come across.
I mean, okay. The bar is high, but also I have to kind of like, he has some shortcomings because first of all, helping number 2 part 1, why exactly is 6 sneaky spawns the turning point for them being able to destroy the candy treehouse? Like, what? Okay, let's be honest here.
That's right.
There's spawns, and then there's sneaky spawns.
There are sneaky spawns.
I think they're smaller.
That's why they're so sneaky. They're sneaky.
I want to know how defeating 6 sneaky spawns is going to be such a turning point that it stops them from destroying the candy treehouse.
Maybe the terrafuser can only put 6 of them out at a time before it recharges.
Wait, actually, you know something? I just made this connection in my head, but we did say that there's a possibility that number 2 intercepted the message from the wormhole.
Yes.
Right? So, in the future, the K&D treehouse was not floating.
Nope.
Ergo
it crashed down. Yeah.
So did he get insider information?
Oh, that's
from the future.
That's the timer. We gotta stop. That's the timer.
Wait. Let me finish though.
That's the timer. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. I'll be right back. Somebody's at my door.
You got it.
Okay, I'm back. Finish your thought.
All right. So my whole thing is I think number 2 got some insider information as to where these specific 6 sneaky spawns were going to be, as to why we had to go to a specific location to defeat them in the first place.
Oh, you think those 6 sneaky spawns were pivotal in the destruction of the treehouse?
I think perhaps maybe that's the case, and why that's in the specifics of why we had to defeat those specific 6.
I can get behind that idea.
Because why else? Why else to stop the whole treehouse from being destroyed? Is it only 6 and not an exorbitantly higher number? I'm sure number 2 could specifically go out and mollywop at least 300 before being tired. But
he's the goat.
That's for another day, another conversation.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that was the timer. That is all the time we have for this episode. Do you have any closing thoughts, or was that your closing thought?
Blossom is very, very bipolar. Caterplugs are a complete menace to society and Sector V as a whole. They took apart all the communications and they just interfere with everything. You know the most important things ever, the picnic. But besides all that,
you know what?
Not very in particular.
I just had a thought. Being that Caterplugs are supposed to be like a caterpillar made of plugs, are the plugs the important technology that the Caterplugs are like fucking up? Is that why they're such a menace? They understand technology so much that they're fucking up the most important things.
That's probably the case, to be honest. But at the same time, just having some prior knowledge on this game, there are more dangerous things out there.
Oh yeah, we're just talking about in this area specifically.
I think, yeah, maybe that's why there's a lot of things that are really messed up over here, and that's why they're such a menace. But besides that, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think they're stopping time machines or whatever. But I mean, Fuse never did. But let's not get into that.
Well, on that note, this has been episode 4 of the Fusionlore Lore podcast, where we go over all of the lore in Fusionlore mission by mission. I have been Magic, also known as the Magical Dealer. He has been Matt, also known as Aris. You can follow us on our social links down below. And until next time, continue the fight.
Watch out for those Caterplugs.
You ready for this?
My work is done.